Tonight, we're diving into 3 truly disturbing stories that might make you question what's hiding in the dark corners of our world. These tales, shared by those who lived them, reveal just how close we all might be to experiencing horror for ourselves. Turn down the lights, lock your doors, and let the fear settle in. It was supposed to be a routine overnight stay. Josh, a traveling salesman, checked into the only available room at a small, roadside motel. The front desk clerk gave him a strange look when he handed over the keys to room 407, but Josh shrugged it off. As he settled into the room, he couldn't shake a feeling of unease. The night was quiet at first, just the hum of the heater. But around 2 a.m., he heard a whisper. It was faint, almost like a breeze sneaking through the room, but unmistakably human. "Get out," it hissed. Josh froze, thinking it was just his imagination. But then he felt a presence near the foot of his bed, something watching him, waiting. Trying to brush it off, he closed his eyes and pulled the covers tight, but then came a soft knock on the wall. It grew louder, closer, as if something was moving down the hallway toward his room. Then, in the silence, he heard breathing, right next to him. The lights flickered, and when they came back on, he saw it. A dark figure in the corner, its eyes glinting with a menacing stare. Josh bolted from the room, and to this day, he can't stay in motels without wondering if something is watching him from the shadows. Jessica was driving home late one night on a deserted road. She spotted a woman standing by the roadside, looking disoriented and distressed. Against her better judgment, she slowed down and rolled down her window to offer help. The woman's face was pale, her clothes disheveled, and she mumbled something Jessica couldn't quite make out. Just as Jessica was about to ask again, the woman's head snapped up, her eyes wide with terror. "Don't look back," the woman whispered, her voice barely audible. Jessica's heart pounded as she watched the woman step back into the shadows and disappear. Confused and unnerved, she continued driving, but she couldn't shake the woman's warning. Minutes later, Jessica felt a chill crawl up her spine. She looked in the rearview mirror and saw nothing. But as she kept driving, a strange feeling grew, a sense that she wasn't alone in the car. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a shadow shifting in the back seat. She tried to focus on the road, but the urge to glance back became unbearable. She finally gave in, and in the dim glow of the streetlights, she saw the woman's face staring at her, twisted in silent anguish. In a flash, the figure vanished, leaving Jessica with only a chilling memory that haunts her every time she drives at night. After moving into a new apartment, Sarah began to notice strange noises in her bedroom walls, a faint scratching sound that would come and go. She figured it was just the old building settling. But over time, the noises grew louder, and one night, she heard whispering. At first, she thought it was coming from a neighboring apartment, but when she pressed her ear to the wall, she heard it more clearly. "Help me," the voice whispered. Her heart raced as she realized it was coming from within the wall. Days turned into weeks, and the voice became a nightly visitor, growing more desperate each time. One night, she finally worked up the courage to investigate. She moved her furniture and pried open a section of the wall. Inside, she found a dusty, locked compartment. With trembling hands, she opened it and discovered a collection of old, yellowed photographs. The pictures were of a young girl who bore an eerie resemblance to Sarah herself. Chills ran down her spine as she realized that the girl in the photos was wearing a necklace identical to one Sarah had recently inherited from her late grandmother. The whispers stopped that night, but Sarah never truly felt alone in that room again. These stories remind us that sometimes, the most terrifying things are the ones we can't explain. Keep your doors locked, and remember, sometimes, the things that go bump in the night aren't just in your head. Until next time, stay safe, and stay scared.